Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is the plant-based morning show, Outlier Health, presented by Compliment. A lot of brand names in there. Lovecompliment.com, Planetapalooza. Keep anyone else another name you can throw at the nice people.
No Meat Athlete.
No
There
Meat
you go.
Athlete. Yeah, there we go. All these proprietary things we've done. Anyway, it's good to have Isabel back today. It's been 2-3 weeks, Isabel, since we've had you. I think you missed one, then there was a no show at all, and now so that is good. Doug, you and I have been on here recently. We're not.
Yeah.
You've gone.
Fourth one of these of the week. I'm getting a little tired of you. I'm not gonna lie. I look forward to the weekends most of all, so that I don't have to look at your face for an hour.
Yeah, I understand. Likewise.
No, just kidding. Of course, just kidding.
All right. Well, I don't see anybody trickling in here yet. No one has checked in to say good afternoon or anything like that. But I'm sure they'll be here. Probably just a delay. Anyway, I'm wearing a collared shirt, as Isabel pointed out at the beginning of the show. That's because I went to a jump rope club performance. My daughter has been going in early on Tuesday mornings. Actually, she goes in normal time, but instead of whatever they do, screwing around before school, she now goes to the gym and does jump rope training. And they did a performance. It all led up to today. The culmination of the past couple months of jump rope club was today. And I went to the school and watched it, and it was good.
Is it synchronized? What is
Yeah, did they just jump rope?
They called out different groups. Well, first of all, there's two performances. The first one was for the second graders, so that's the group that I was in there with. And they call them out, 3 at a time, maybe 5 at a time. They have these different predefined subgroups of the probably 20-person jump club, the springers they're called. And they each group would have their own little thing they did. So they might do the crisscross move, or the X with the feet, or the can inside the jump rope, or the big long jump rope thing. Right, then you got to get in there. You got to do someone did cartwheels into the thing, and then they threw the basketball back and forth within the jump rope. That was some cool stuff. It wasn't bad. It started off a little slow. Mistakes were made a little bit, and then they got it together.
It's only second grade, Matt. Let's be.
No, it's for the second graders. This is the fifth graders. This was for the second graders.
Oh. Then we can
now they're performing right now as we speak. They're performing for the kindergartners. So we'll see. Hopefully that might have been even better. I don't know. So
I'm going to a 4-year-old's dance recital on Sunday, so that'll be fun. My 4-year-old's, not 84.
Just a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. What kind of dance is it?
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know. I think it's a lot of raise the roof type things and spins and that kind of thing. Yeah,
right.
It's kind of modern dance.
Sure.
I went to one dance recital in my daughter's career, and then she stopped the dance.
I've been to a few now. I mean, I grew up going to them all the time because my sister was a big dancer through high school, basically. And I got to tell you, man, they get really long when you have basically 4-year-olds all the way up to high schoolers doing their performance. But thankfully, Chloe is at the beginning of this one, and we're probably just going to roll out after. Oh,
man.
After the beginning.
Rude.
Yeah. I know. This is in Black Mountain. The town councilman's going to be seen
slipping out. Yeah. Yeah. I have a funny story.
Okay.
We
acknowledge the people who are here.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do that and then get into it. All right. Bianca's here. She's our Friday regular, one of our Friday regulars. Only Fridays for Bianca. Good to see you, Bianca, as always. Kelly K, Jeff Hudnall, who we often see, and Kelly K. Lady Draws a Lot. Haven't read that name in a while, but definitely did before. Garuda Legends is here. Our favorite troll, who isn't really a troll. Everyone says he's a troll, but to us, he's, just sometimes offers dissenting opinions. Says Isabel's here. He must be on his best behavior. So I'm telling you, Garuda has a thing for Isabel. Garuda always has a thought of something for Isabel. So anyway, it's good times. And Gene Ogden is here. Says good morning. So. Yes, good morning. Hello, everybody. Doug, what do you got? What do you got for us?
All right. So, as you know, Thursday, met up with the band. We were walking over to grab a drink, and I saw out of the corner of my eye somebody who caught my attention. I look over and think about it for a second, and I'm like, "Yep, that's him." Matt, you will know this guy. Isabel may not. Anton Krupicka, the ultra runner from 10, 12 years ago, who was at the top of his game at the time. He was my idol when I was first got into ultra running. I mean, I really admired and looked up to the guy. And
you had a poster of him in your office.
I had a poster of him.
Age
Exactly.
like 35. You had a poster of another dude in your office.
That's right. I had a poster of another dude in my office, and shirtless. Had that, So I was like, man, I think that's him. And I he was like walking by, with his bike, and he appeared to be on some sort of bike packing adventure. I said, Anton, it's nice. I'm a big fan, and we had this most awkward exchange I've ever had in my entire life. And I tried really hard to keep it short and not like fanboy too much, and like not interrupt. He was there with his girlfriend or partner, and tried not to like be that guy who was wanted a selfie or try to interrupt their experience. I was trying to play it cool, but it was just super awkward. And I was I kind of left, and I felt just so dumb. But I was like, why is he here in Black Mountain? I don't know. And it just caught me off guard so much that I don't know, I just felt so dumb about it. So
what did you actually say, Doug?
He's like, how come you're in Black Mountain?
Hi.
Yeah, I didn't even say that. I just said I said I'm a big fan. And he said, oh, what's your name? And I said, Doug. He's like, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, have a great day. Like, that's kind of how it went. And we had this like really awkward handshake where I thought he was going in for a fist bump or something. It was just like one of those like just disastrous meetings of
you were going for a hug. He wanted a handshake and you wanted a hug.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going in for a hug. Yeah, but really funny, and it's very cool that he was here, and he was incredibly nice for the short exchange that that I had with him. But yeah, sometimes it's better not to meet the people you idolize, I guess. Not because they're gonna let you down. He didn't let me down in any way. It's just, I let myself down. That was the problem.
I'm not that surprised by that.
I think I probably did the same thing the first time we met, Matt.
Yeah, right. Well, we still talk about that awkward moment. So yeah, it was one for the book.
I can just envision the handshake, fist bump, awkwardness. Yeah, okay.
You didn't tell him you're a town councilman? Welcome to the city.
Welcome to my town.
You need to carry around keys to the city that you can hand out to
there you go.
I would give him a key to the city.
That would have been a less awkward thing if you'd done that.
Yeah, like you just randomly spot a guy in the street and be like, "Hey, I know who you are. You want a key to the city?"
You think did anyone else recognize him?
No, nobody else that I was with, and no, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, not like it was a crowded street or anything, but like they were just kind of passing through. I really highly doubt that anybody else recognized him. Right. So it could have been. I'm sure there are places. He lives in Colorado. There are places where he's probably recognized frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably a bit of a surprise to like randomly run into somebody on the street.
Yeah. You mentioned the Rock Creek Runner podcast or anything?
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't mention anything.
He literally just said hi. And then have a good day.
Awkward. I should have like offered to buy him a drink, or I don't know, asked what he was up to. See if I could give him like maybe they were looking around looking for some place to eat, and I could have offered some advice. There's so many things I should have done. I didn't do any of it. I was just like, all right, have a good one.
Well, now you know how you're going to react when you meet anyone you idolize.
I got to work on that.
It's just going to be that.
Well, next time, be prepared, I guess. You got to figure out just have a plan going in, maybe. All right. Rita says the question is how to get all runners to stop running away from me and let me give them some glucose. I see them all the time. They always need a quick boost and ahead of you. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Why are they running away?
Just let them do their thing.
If you want to clarify, Garuda, please do. I don't know if you mean you're running on the trail and they're running away from you. How are you going to give them glucose? I don't understand. Or is this a joke? I'm just not following. But
I've had people offer me water when I was out on my run. Like if I didn't have a water bottle, and people be like, "You need a water." It's really nice.
Yeah,
nice. Stephanie Diamond's here. Good morning. I rarely listen live, but have time some Fridays.
Oh, okay. Is that first time for Stephanie Diamond? I don't recognize the name, so yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay, good. Well, that's a good story, Doug. Anyone else? Isabel, got anything else? Any other happenings in the past few weeks?
Lots of running, and my I've talked about this before. My husband races motorcycles, and he got like a podium finish, which is a really big deal in the motorcycle racing community. So really exciting.
That's big in any community. You get a podium.
Yeah, that's true.
Very cool.
That's true. But no
Prize
gearing
money,
up. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
prize money. Mm-hmm.
How much?
Pretty cool stuff.
What are we talking about?
not a lot. But it's an expensive sport, so anything is good.
3 figures or 4 figures?
3.
3. Okay.
I had to think about what that meant.
Okay. Hey, that's all right. Money's money. Glory is true.
It's true.
Good. All right. Great. All right. Garuda has followed up. It says it means they need a quick drink and they weigh ahead. They love it. LOL. Should be a Red Bull commercial. Okay.
I still don't get it, but I'm sure it's funny.
Right on. All right.
Anyway, and Steven's here. Long time no see, he says. Hello, Steven. Good to see you. All right. Well, let's jump in. We got a mixed bag today. We got different stuff. No real theme. Yesterday was the big news. The big plant-based diet coming out ahead in this 20-year 50 study meta-analysis done. So that's all over the place right now, which is a great thing. We did have one comment on it. Some sort of meat person wrote on our show and said they did their own N=1 study and they cured all these issues by going carnivore or whatever. And I guess they thought that was comparable. I don't know to this huge meta-analysis of N=1.
Usually that's
Definitely.
But I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, try to be fair to that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the science, it's iffy. With no science on that diet, I'd just be afraid to do it. Okay. And Steve wants to know: are we allowed to use the phrase "beef" when talking about Drake versus Kendrick? That's made it into my world a couple different paths in. I've heard of this Drake versus Kendrick thing. I don't know anything about it except for these diss tracks that are going out. Holman says.
Yeah,
that's like a thing. Yeah, battle.
Yeah, I don't know much of the details,
battle
but they're
tracks.
dissing each other, releasing a lot of diss tracks. I think accusing each other of very nefarious behavior. I think Drake's bodyguard got shot maybe by someone. So I don't know. But Steven's question: are you allowed to use the phrase beef? I use that all the time.
It's a good question.
And then I always kind of try to correct myself. Or same with like two birds, one stone. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Like that's not a very vegan phrase.
Plant 2 trees with 1 seed.
Yeah. And I've heard some sort of very lame alternative statement for that you can use instead. I forget what it was, but it was
plant 2 trees with 1 seed.
Okay. Yeah.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not as lame. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't know. I have no problem saying the phrase beef. Now, some vegans don't even like to use the word beef, right? They say we don't use beef, we don't use pork, because we're not going to talk about the animal in that form. But like to me, it's just an English word. It means that's what a cow meat is when it's meat. It's not saying I'm a fan of it. So yeah, I think you can say beef. Now, I think when you start saying I have beef with this with the carnivore diet, then it's just a dumb pun. So I don't know. But
I don't know what you would say instead. What is like you have a problem with it? I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
There you go.
But what's wrong with beef? Oh, Steven says it was tongue in cheek. Of course, he uses the term.
I don't know.
But some people really don't. Like I'm guessing plant-based news doesn't use that, but I don't know. Anyway, all right. Garuda's clarifying one more time. He's from the Caribbean. I didn't know that. So I'm fast. And I'm just saying, if you run the wrong way or out of non-salt water, I want to be there for you runners. So I guess ultra runners are different. And he's saying they always just run away and they're maybe too good for it. I don't know.
It's just offering electrolytes. Appreciate that. Thank you for the electrolytes.
Right.
All
right. Good. Okay. Well, let's jump into weather report and see where that takes us. Everyone good with that?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Kraft Heinz is they're thinking about selling Oscar Mayer, which we know is making that one plant-based hot dog. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's with Notco, their partner company. PCRM has stepped up though and made a big offer to buy Oscar Mayer. PCRM, of course, is the very vegan-centric, plant-based centric, I guess medical organization. I don't know, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They've offered $1.5 million. It sounds a little light to me for an
For
iconic
a
brand.
brand
Little
that
bit.
everybody knows.
Little bit.
Yeah. And I guess they're saying they want to actually rebrand it into a vegan brand or a plant-based thing to kind of spread that awareness. I do think there's mention of a new focus for Oscar Mayer if they were to be sold, or even without being sold. But I just don't think that's going to do it. The Plant-Based News says the brand could fetch between 3 and 5 billion. So the 1.5 million offering is about 1,000
Wait, it's valued at 3 to 5 billion. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
So 2,000 to 3,000 times too small, this offer of 1.5 million. Why did they do this offer? Just to be funny?
To get some news.
Yeah.
Just to be talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Why not come in with like an offer that's not quite so low ball? Like, since they're not going to take it, how about offering 100 million?
They probably can't offer that.
Well, they still could. If they're banking on Oscar Mayer not taking it.
They could offer it and then try to, just back out. Why don't we do that? Why doesn't Compliment put in an offer?
Let's do it.
We should come in with a $1.6 million bid and outbid
Yeah.
up to Annie.
Sort of bidding war between us and PCRM.
Yeah. All right, on to the next. Lactalis apparently is the world's largest dairy company. It seems like they operate mostly in Canada, or at least that's where their new line is. But they've got a vegan line, a plant-based line. It's called Enjoy with an exclamation point at the end. It'll have high protein and unsweetened dairy-free drinks. That includes flavors like oat vanilla, almond vanilla, hazelnut and oat. So they're just combining all those things in different iterations. So I don't know. I mean, I guess big news is that the largest dairy company is paying attention at all to plant-based things, and I think that's a good thing, right? We can't count out plant-based dairy because that seems to be a bright spot right now. All right, Jane Goodall, Leonardo DiCaprio, they are co-producing a movie called Howl, live-action film about an abandoned family dog and a young wolf told from the animal's point of view. Didn't Leonardo DiCaprio get involved in something like a vegan thing?
Water, maybe. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I agree.
He's been involved in a bunch of environmental stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't in Game Changers with one of those co-producers like James Cameron. So I just thought he was in something bigger. But anyway, don't know. Maybe it was Seaspiracy or one of those things, or Cowspiracy. But anyway, Jane Goodall, obviously noted environmentalist, and she says the wolf population has been. People think wolves are evil, and there's just been tons of hunting of wolves, and they even have to they're thinking about rewilding them in the UK, I think, or something, because they've had. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you have to be rewilded, it means that you, at some point, were taken into captivity so that you could, population could be regenerated. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so they are. There's been hundreds of wolf deaths, 560 in Idaho alone in the past couple of years. So anyway, they're doing this apparently to raise awareness about wolves and make people think that wolves aren't so bad, because big bad wolf and all that, right? It's just like it's a thing. I think when you talk from a young age, wolves are bad.
It's true.
All right, I got some DiCaprio news.
Oh.
Yeah,
so he was the executive producer of Cowspiracy.
Okay.
He's also an investor in Beyond Burger, Beyond Meat, Hip Peas, and Califia Farms, and Perfect Day.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
He's heavily involved in that stuff. Good. All right. Anyway, Howl is going to come out sometime in 2026. They are expecting, so this is going to take a while to make.
I've been doing some research on Jane Goodall with my daughter.
Okay.
She's legit. I mean, obviously she's legit, but her story is pretty wild.
Yeah. Is she the one who has talked to the monkeys and things? Gorillas?
Yeah,
yes.
Chimpanzees. She lived with chimpanzees for a long time.
Okay.
She's done a ton since then in terms of environmentalists.
But that was her big thing, was her research with the chimps.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, she's still at it. I was thinking that your family would go see this movie when I read about this. This is family.
Sounds like something we would see.
Yeah, nature-loving family.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Well, here's something my family's interested in. Tofurky is coming up with two new products that they're going to unveil at the NRA show in Chicago. I don't know what that is. It's not the National Rifle Association, I don't think. But they're coming up with next-gen plant-based deli slices. So that's their most popular thing is the Tofurky deli slices. Everybody knows those. But this is they're calling it cold cuts with a meaty recipe, delivers upgraded taste, texture, and visual appeal that emulates whole muscle cuts of animal-based meats. So, I mean,
that description does not sound great to me as a plant-based eater.
Yeah, muscle is a little interesting word to put in there. You'd think that would actually turn off a lot of people who eat that food, but I don't know. To me, it sounds like that's going to be an upgrade on the product. I just hope it doesn't turn into a bunch of fake ingredients. The reason I like Tofurky is because it's tofu and seitan is like the number one. Right. Feels okay eating that one. Anyway, that's happening. And then did I mention hot dogs? They're also making hot dogs. They have the sausages, but hot dogs are coming. So
lots of vegan hot dogs out these days.
There are. Impossible out there. The Oscar Mayer ones are coming. Yeah. They're not already out.
Is that a bright spot? Like, do people buy vegan hot dogs? We do.
We almost never do.
What's like the difference between that and like a vegan brat? Like, why do they have to have both? Maybe I mean,
the ones we buy are basically tofu. They're like very minimal ingredients. And a brat, I would think, would be quite a bit more involved.
Maybe like for kids. Maybe it might be more kid friendly. I feel like
definitely. I mean, my kids eat them, so
there you go.
So,
and of one, kid friendly.
Yeah, I mean hot dogs. I mean, if there's vegan burgers, of course there should be more vegan hot dogs. You'd think there would be plenty of uses for them on camping trips and whenever else, because people eat a lot of hot dogs. So yeah, I mean that should happen. We never ever buy like a pack of vegan hot dogs and eat them like that. Just never. I don't know why. I mean, if we're going camping, we might do that, but never at home. You just eat like a white bread bun with it.
To be honest, I didn't know these existed.
Really?
You didn't know vegan hot dogs existed?
No.
Get out of here.
No.
What?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference between sausages or brats and a vegan hot dog?
I mean,
I do carrot hot dogs.
Exactly like hot dogs.
No.
Brats and sausages have like different flavors in them.
I mean, yes, I know
more
that.
Of a texture to them. You probably have like a little bit of a crispier outside, maybe, or a little bit more of a snappier outside and then softer inside. Hot dog, just one consistent thing. It's like a Spam basically, but it's in the shape of a hot dog.
I have to go find these now. I'm sure they're at my local grocery store. I'm sure, so I'll go.
Any vegan hot dog I've had like on camping trips basically tastes like nothing. It seems like you're eating basically nothing. It's like the mustard or whatever you put on there, and that's kind of a criticism. It also makes them seem like they're not too unhealthy. I don't know.
We've. I mean, all right. So we probably once a week. My girls will eat a hot dog recently in the last 6 months, I'd say.
How do you prepare it? Boil?
Toaster usually.
Okay.
And they don't put it on a bun. They just we just kind of chop it up and they dip it in ketchup or some sort of sauce. Mm-hmm. And put it alongside other foods, but like super simple way, like addition to a dinner, and very cheap.
Yeah, right. You do Franks and beans ever?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. Huh.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go find some news.
All right. And last up, I believe it's last up. We know Oatly, they do their thing with their ads, and we don't like it. At least I don't like it. Doug might be a little more neutral. But La Vie also does their own bit of advertising that's kind of meant to get attention. And I really don't, obviously all advertising meant to get attention, but it's these sort of like meant to be a little bit shocking or something, or like get people to be like, "Ooh, man, they're edgy." Well, they're driving this new pink truck around London, and it says, "Take me to Bucking Plant-Based Ham Palace." So it's like Bucking Ham Palace, but they have jammed plant-based in there. But it's on separate lines. I don't have the picture here for you guys to see, unfortunately. But like it says, "Take me to Bucking," and then the next line says plant-based ham, and then palace under that. And like I didn't even get it when I first read it. I thought it was meant to like sound like effing sort of thing, like take me to effing plant. I just didn't get it. But So anyway, that's what they're doing. They've got a new plant-based ham out there. Their other billboard as part of this campaign says, "For those who love animals, the planet, and kids having a future, but can't give up ham sandwiches." Doug, you like that line?
Say it again.
For those who love animals, the planet, and kids having a future, but can't give up ham sandwiches.
No, I don't like that.
It's just wordy and clunky. Kids having a future is one of your items. Animals, the planet, and kids having a future.
I didn't know ham was this big in any location. Like ham sandwich?
So you didn't know that there's vegan hot dogs and people like ham sandwiches?
I mean, come on.
Apparently
Where have you been?
What?
I know you live in the middle of nowhere.
In the mountains, out in the middle of nowhere. But I just didn't think like to make a billboard that says like, I can't give up your ham sandwiches. I don't know that they were not.
I think apparently London is like a big time ham sandwich town, according to this
apparently.
Thing. I didn't know, but it's apparently one of the biggest ham sandwich places.
All right, I threw up a picture of the car here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird.
It's not great.
It's Oatly-esque. It is
Oatly-esque.
less elegantly than Oatly does it. Oatly does stuff that's like you hate it, or at least I hate it, but at least it's like you understand it and it just makes you feel weird. This is like not even well done.
Vegan Stallion says buck the ham. See, I think that's more clever.
That would have been much better. Yeah.
I don't know.
They should have come to you.
Or buck the venison. Wouldn't that be? Wasn't a buck like a male deer?
Yes.
Yeah, but Buckingham. Buck the ham. Buckingham.
Buck the ham. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, buck the venison is it makes a little more sense. Sure.
All right. Anyway, so there's your weather report. A little weird. It kind of went off the rails. A couple comments here. Garuda says, just remember for y'all vegans, you should never be making food that is a pot for kids and adults. Their metabolism is beyond Superman. What is a pot? Is that a typo maybe? I don't know. Anyway, Garuda, clarify for us again. Garuda's also got a lot of more stuff. Sounds like GMO lunch meat. Hello, diabetes. I'd rather eat guacamole with some cucumber or celery stick than eat that. At least it is healthy and vegan. I think he's talking about the vegan hot dog. I think I'd rather eat that stuff too than a vegan hot dog for sure, most of the time. And that's just as tasty to me. Guacamole is delicious. So I'm agreeing there. Vegan Stallion points out that all brats are sausages, but not all sausages are brats. I agree with that as well.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah, I know the same thing. Is a taco a sandwich, Doug?
No.
Some people would say it is. If a hot dog is, a taco is not very different.
But sandwiches have bread.
Well,
you could argue a taco is a wrap.
If you have a taco with a wheat tortilla, flour tortilla, that's bread.
It's a wrap. I agree with you, Doug. It could be a wrap.
It's not a burrito. A burrito, I guess, is different. That's wrapped up. A taco is sort of just like a hot dog bun. It's just a thinner bread.
Is a taco an open-faced burrito?
But okay, so let's take out whole wheat. Did you say flour tortilla? You'd call that bread?
Yeah. So the flour tortilla is sort of a type of bread.
I don't know.
Unleavened.
Taco's not a bread. Hot dog, I think, is. I'm sorry. Taco is not a sandwich. I think I would call a hot dog a sandwich.
All right. Well, we're not going to do this now. That's enough of that. Let's get to the main article, see if we can get this back on track. This is from AOL.com via New York Post, via Washington Post, via the original study. So a lot of degrees far away from the actual thing. The headline is Fussy Eaters Take Note, Picky Palates Linked to Poor Mental Health. And I tried to trace this back to the original study, and I did eventually get there. It's really, really long, convoluted, statistical stuff all over the place. I tried to read it in 10 minutes and could not even begin to understand the point of it. So I'm just doubtful that anyone has actually really read it and understand anything. So I'm not really sure. That's just a disclaimer. But what they did the UK, looked at the UK Biobank data set, which has 182,000 older Brits who answered a bunch of questions for this thing. As part of it, they answered their food likes and dislikes for some 140 foods, rated them from 1 to 9 as far as how much they like them or dislike them. And the foods fell into 10 categories: alcohol, non-alcoholic beverages, dairy, flavorings, fruits, fish, meat, snacks, starches, and vegetables. I'm not sure how they came up with those categories, but they did. And what they found was that 57% of the people had a balanced preference. So they sort of don't matter, I guess, that much. And then everyone else, 18% preferred the starch-free or reduced starch foods. 19% opted for protein heavy, fiber light, and 5% favored a vegetarian diet. So they did all that. Then they looked, I think, at, again, self-reporting of mental health and cognitive function and things like that. And what they found was that the people who ate the omnivorous, the large amount of stuff, didn't have a lot of restrictions in the things that they like. They were much, I guess, better mental health. I don't have the exact thing for what the actual metric was, but better cognitive function and better mental health. And then they call out specifically that those who eat vegan and vegetarian diets have higher rates of anxiety and I think even depression and things like that, which they say is like contrary to what most people believe. But I actually thought that we've talked about it on the morning show a couple of times, right. That's something that is a known kind of, I don't know if you call it a risk factor, but that there's a correlation between eating a plant-based diet and having a higher level or higher susceptibility to anxiety, depression, and other forms of mental distress. Does anyone want to counter that and argue that, no, that's wrong because we're all plant-based, so that can't possibly be true?
I'm as zen as they come.
Yeah.
Are there actual studies to back that up other than
there
this
was
one? This one sounds kind of convoluted.
There was an actual study that came out.
Yeah, I think it was from Brazil or somewhere South American, and it wasn't completely convincing, but it had a correlation, and it wasn't a causation thing, because we were asking ourselves, is it that people who eat this way, tend to be perhaps deeper thinkers, and I'm not saying that's make them better than everyone else, but I'm saying a lot of people who are vegetarian or vegan are so because of something besides the nutrition or the attraction of the food. It's some deeper reason. That might be environmental, it might be animals, whatever. So those people just tend to be the types who would be more anxious, more depressed, because they get stuck in their own head more. I don't know. But there were other things, and I don't know. I'm not saying it is that. It could be from nutritional stuff. I don't know. Omega-3 is really important to brain health. B12, very important to brain health. If you have deficiencies in those things, I wouldn't be shocked if it led to greater incidence of these sort of mental illness things.
Steven says that he believes it, but mainly because he thinks you feel more empathy, you probably feel more overall. If you feel more empathy.
Yeah. Could certainly be. Yeah. But it also could be a causation. We don't know that it's not that. And I'm open to the idea that it is. Seems feasible to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was kind of all this article really took from it. And that's why I said, I think there's a lot more to this that I don't really know. And I wish I had more time. Maybe in the morning show, we'll dive into this more deeply later. But yeah, so it's not really what it said. It's not that fussy eaters are the problem here. It seems that if you fall into certain types of diet, not because you're fussy, but because you're choosing a certain type of diet, whether it's the high protein one or a vegetarian one, I think you then have less balance. You then have less, possible sources of different nutrients. So the more restrictive your diet in any direction, I think the more likely you are to be deficient in something. That is no hiding this. That's why we make supplements for plant-based eaters, because there are some things you don't get with that relatively restrictive bundle of foods, or you don't get in large quantity anyway. And so, yeah, that makes sense to me. Right? The smaller the basket of foods from which you get your calories, the more likely you're going to have some sort of deficiency, and therefore more likely perhaps to have a mental health thing. Isabel, you seem not convinced. You seem to think plant-based diet rules all diets and cannot be faulted.
No. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by this question, though. And I think there is probably something to the idea that if you're leading a plant-based lifestyle, and this is an assumption, I don't know this for sure, but you probably are also, doing other things in your life, like being aware of your mental health. So I wonder if it's more of because again, this is self-reported. So I wonder if it's more of these folks might tend to be more aware of their mental health status and therefore are able to report it. So that's the question that I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious. I mean, I think you make fair points that there could be there could be causation, but to me, this sounds like we're just kind of we're drawing inferences from the information we have. We don't necessarily know that it is causative.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this type of study design, that's all it could possibly show you is the correlation. And I wouldn't even put much stock in it if not for this other thing we've heard before about it. So anyway, who knows? But interesting topic. Could be a compliment email, Doug, that goes out.
Could be. I'll have to think about it.
Do some research.
If my brain works enough.
Yeah, right. Well, it will, because you take compliments, so you're covered.
That's right. Yeah, I'm covered.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Some comments. Garuda says vegans are healthier because most fast food has animal products in it. Removing dairy from a donut is still unhealthy with less nutrients. This is why I do respect vegans, some vegans. And I think that's a good point. Like even if, and I'm not saying this is true, but even if it was shown, and I would like there to be tests that show this, that like a Mediterranean or a low meat flexitarian diet, that was a little bit healthier than a vegan diet. You still get any diet where you're choosing whole foods and things like that, sort of automatically way better. And you're going to do well on these health studies because you don't eat the junk. You can't eat the junk food on this particular diet, whether it's vegan or flexitarian or if you're strict about one of these diets that doesn't involve a bunch of processed food, you just sort of automatically do way better than everybody else. So I think that's what Ruda is pointing out there. And similarly, if you remove dairy from a donut but still eat the donut, you're not getting any sort of health benefit. You're just eating junk food stuff.
A happiness boost.
Yeah,
that's what you get from the
false happiness boost for a little bit, and then you crash and you feel worse. Would you like to dispute that, Doug?
No, that's true. I agree.
All right, Garuda also says, I actually like citrus water, eggs, and fish for breakfast. I'm not sure how we got on breakfast. He says, I don't eat breakfast because I just don't want to force myself to eat. I find myself in that same boat. Like, I don't often want to eat breakfast, but now I've started trying to because I read this stuff about you shouldn't skip meals and then it's actually bad for heart health over the long term. So I don't know where I stand on that. But I don't do a good job of eating breakfast. I know that much. Doug, you still intermittent fasting?
I am doing it periodically now. I'm probably like 2 or 3 times a week.
Intermittently
fasting. And that's because it's entirely because of the study, because I still like it. It still feels really good. And but we keep seeing studies that say that it's not actually good, especially to miss breakfast, the importance of breakfast. And that's how I prefer to do it, is to miss breakfast instead of missing dinner.
Right.
And so I've been doing it a couple times a week, but not every day anymore.
Good. I think that's the best way to do it, actually. I really do. Okay, Isabel, you ever do intermittent fasting? I haven't heard you talk about that.
Yeah, I did intermittent fasting years ago before I had started having kids, and I loved it. Yeah, I felt super energetic in the mornings. I did what Doug's talking about. I skipped breakfast and just opted to eat later. And yeah, I really like it. And I do still kind of like delay my breakfast just because I'm not really hungry in the morning. But I do have breakfast for sure because I love oatmeal and I have oatmeal every single day for breakfast, and it is.
What do you put in it?
My go-to is cinnamon, peanut butter, and banana. Can't go wrong, but like any sort of fruit, sometimes chopped up nuts, but normally some sort of like nut or nut butter fruit.
No complement protein?
No, I do that later in the day. I make a chia seed bowl. I'm a very routinized person, so almost every day I do the same thing. But then chia seed bowl that's where I put my protein in. So good.
I had oatmeal this morning. Berries, chocolate protein, creatine, and oatmeal.
You put creatine in your oatmeal?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wacky, Doug.
Fascinating.
Why is it more wacky than protein powder?
I don't know.
I don't know why. It feels different, but
because it's not a food. It's not a calorie source. So you're putting a supplement in your food, and that's okay. It just
I don't know. Never considered it to be wacky, but
you just put anything on anything and eat it. And
it doesn't have any flavor. Like you just mix it in.
Yeah, you're right.
I do wonder if the heat somehow.
I'm a little concerned about that part. I don't know.
I mean, it's a valid thing to be concerned about. I've never heard of any issue, but chemical reaction, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Or would that be a physical reaction? I don't know. All right, Garuda's got some more stuff here. I think Garuda should be the fourth person on this show. That's what I think.
Garuda cannot make a comment without Matt reading it, no matter what the comment is.
I know. I tell you, I love Garuda's comments, and I don't think Garuda's a troll either. Because you know what it is? I don't like the echo chamber stuff. Is why I don't go to vegan potlucks. I don't want to just say the same things and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's true. We're better. This is good." I like people who say,
even if the comment makes no sense, you read the comment. You have to read the comment.
Yeah, I don't even read them. I just start reading out loud. I haven't actually read it ahead of time. I just know it's going to be good, so I start reading it. All right, I'm going to skip the first one. Then he says, "I'm not a troll. I want vegans to live long. The thing is, I understand that healthy physical behavior don't work with nutritional behavior on the digestive system." Okay, I don't know about that. I like the part about I'm not a troll. I want vegans to live long. That's why I read his comments, because
Bruno's the most confident man I've ever met.
That's great.
That's why you should be on this show. He likes Isabel.
I'll take it.
Happy and healthy. Respect to her.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I think he likes us too. We look happy.
Oh, yeah, I think he does too.
I mean,
You guys definitely not as happy and healthy as me, obviously.
No, of course not.
Clearly.
Well, you do some
Bianca's chiming in here. Savory brekkie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Savory oats with nooch and sriracha. Wow, I've never had that.
I can't get on board with the savory oatmeal. I did it one time based on Matt Frazier's recommendation in the No Meat Athlete Cookbook.
That was probably Stephanie's recommendation. I probably
That's true. And I just it was good, but like I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, but this should not be savory. It should be sweet to me. I couldn't do it. It was good though. It's very strange.
Let's see. Vegan Stallion, Oatmeal Gang Britters, Oatmeal for the win. Kelly K, oatmeal with almond butter and chocolate protein powder. Lots of love for the oatmeal today. Steven with the same oatmeal as you create, Isabel.
There you go. Frazier, you just need to start having oatmeal in the morning. That can be that's how you jump into breakfast.
I've tried before. I don't like oatmeal. It's just the oats don't do it for me. They're too slimy or something. But
you're making them wrong.
A good Southwest breakfast. Like if I could eat Doug's dinners for breakfast, I would probably eat breakfast a lot more.
Breakfast burritos.
Yeah, I mean, I do that.
But without the not a breakfast burrito, just a regular burrito.
Yeah, I don't really like eggs. I'm probably not even vegan eggs.
But speaking of teams, and the segue to sports, we got another article here. You teased this one yesterday.
Were we speaking of teams?
Team Oatmeal.
Oh, okay, good. All right, yeah, let's get to the last one. Crazy show today. I don't know why. It just feels a little wacky. And this article, Doug, you shared this with me, and as I was reading it, I thought this is kind of funny. And then I thought, what does it have anything to do with plant-based food? I guess it's an athlete, and we're interested in his diet because it's an athlete diet. Is that right?
It has nothing to do with plant-based food. But yeah, just an interesting diet. I mean,
okay. Yeah. So anyway, the article is called "The Babe Ruth Diet: Meals Fit for a Legend." Now, I don't know the background here. The article. This is one of these churned out articles that's like, it could have been AI that wrote it, but it's like not a whole lot of thought put into this thing. But they do have a good listing of what his daily food looked like. I don't know where they got that. But then at the bottom there's this YouTube video. It's because I nearly died during the Babe Ruth Diet Challenge. And it's this guy talking about a video game, and he hit 77 months of Babe Ruth. And as he's doing, he's drinking sodas and stuff and beer and hot dogs. And I think he made up his own Babe Ruth Diet Challenge. So I don't know if that's where the article came from or if that thing came from the article. But I'm guessing you didn't watch that video, did you, Doug?
You guessing I knew more than you do, as I said?
Did you watch the video, the Babe Ruth Diet Challenge video?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. Anyway, here's his diet. I guess disclaimer here, you can get first of all, Babe Ruth clearly not a person who was in very good shape, but baseball in that era, even up until maybe 30 years ago, it seemed like it was much more of a skill than a sport. So I don't care what any baseball player eats as far as a health diet. They were barely athletes in my opinion. It was a skill thing.
What about now? Would you still say the same thing now?
No, I was much different now. But now clearly the money has gotten people understood the opportunity and started becoming athletes to play baseball. Probably still way more of a skill than Some athletic sports, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but they say that hitting a baseball, in the MLB is the hardest thing in sports.
I mean, I could see that. It goes really fast. It doesn't seem. It's not like I don't want to hate on baseball, but not like the most athletic of sports. Like
Right.
unless you play outfield and like maybe shortstop, like you're not really running around very much. You just kind of stand there.
Pitcher's probably pretty athletic.
That's true. Pitchers do. That's like a full body.
Catcher's pretty athletic.
For sure.
Well, Babe Ruth pitched and hit, so ultimate athlete as far as baseball went.
Regardless, this diet, if anybody has looked into it, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe that this is actually what this man ate, because I don't know when he passed, but it would have been very early, I think.
I believe it.
Did
steak.
he actually die pretty early?
I don't know.
I had the sense that he did, and I think it was always blamed on his like partying lifestyle.
A lot of questions here.
All right, let's start with breakfast.
Okay, starting with breakfast. I'm just reading the bullets, so I don't know all the stuff around it. A hefty porterhouse steak, piles of potatoes, a quart of bourbon and ginger ale, an astonishing 18-egg omelet. And then they say, yes, you read that correctly, an 18-egg omelet. So that's the headlining thing here, not the quart of bourbon for some reason.
Or the hefty porterhouse
thing is the 18-egg omelet.
I think a quart of bourbon for breakfast is probably pretty standard for a lot of athletes. So when I'm at peak training, it's pretty standard.
That's what you're going with, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I skipped the gym.
Drunk for like 2 days if you drank a quart of bourbon.
How big is a quart? A quart's not that big, right?
Well, a gallon is a gallon. A quart is a fourth of that.
It's a lot.
Of bourbon, not of beer or something.
No, I understand.
This is ridiculous.
He died at 53, by the way.
Well,
okay, pretty early. Maybe the quart includes the ginger ale. Maybe it's just a quart-sized glass of ginger ale with some bourbon in it.
Oh, maybe. That sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. A quart of whiskey is 21 shots. Yeah, there's no way he was drinking 21 shots of liquor
for breakfast.
No, not possible. All right, let's read the rest quickly and then get out of here. Snack 1, mid-morning fuel, 2 hot dogs, 2 Coca-Cola. Lunch 2 raw steaks. So he was early on the raw meat trend. 2 orders of potatoes, one lettuce head. He got some veggies in there with Roquefort dressing. I think Roquefort is a type of blue cheese.
Yep.
Maybe not blue cheese. I think it is blue cheese.
It is blue cheese, or it's like blue cheese.
Okay. So yeah, so for the Bambino, it was just another meal, they say, even though it might sound unconventional. Snack 2, he did the 2 hot dogs and 2 Coca-Colas again. So that's 4 of each for the day. Dinner, 2 raw porterhouse steaks. So he's up to
5 steaks?
5 steaks, one of them hefty, 4 of them raw. 2 more lettuce heads with Roquefort dressing, 2 cottage fried potatoes, 2 orders of apple pie. And then after dinner, chocolate ice cream and pickled eels.
Ooh.
Interestingly, though, all of his alcohol consumption happens at breakfast.
So he's ready for the day.
Yeah. I mean, I guess with 21 shots, you're going to be drunk all day. So you might as well just get it out of the way.
That's probably why the rest of the eating is like that, because he's just drunk the entire day. So he's like, hot dogs, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, Steven here says, I can't imagine any time in my life where I'd want more than 1 serving of soda. That's right. Like never have I drank a can of Coke and said, you know what? I need a second can of Coke. Even as a kid.
You guys think this is true? Any of it?
No.
Really?
I am a hard disbeliever. I mean, maybe the hot dogs and the Coke, because I feel like back then, like that probably was pretty popular. But to eat all of this in a day is ridiculous.
Exactly.
All the raw steaks too. Like there had to be some sort of pathogen in there at some point in time.
Yeah, I just think this is all wrong. I bet they probably like took some legendary meal or two that he ate at one time, and then someone turned it into a story about how he ate that every night for dinner, and then it turned into every meal was that.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. He did this one time.
Okay, here's another article. According to supporting documentation, He would eat steak and potatoes for breakfast along with half a dozen eggs. So instead of 18, half a dozen. 6.
Okay.
So 6.
Okay.
Big difference.
Down with 4 cups of bourbon and ginger.
There you go. All right. Consistency across 2 sources. 4 cups is the same as a quart. So that's good.
That's true.
But he could have very little ginger or very little bourbon in there.
Yeah, it could be like 1 shot of bourbon and a thing of ginger.
He's like a blues owner. He has a little bit at breakfast of alcohol and then not too much. Doesn't get drunk later on.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got to call it. I think we're done. Last check-in. Garuda's commented again. Breaking news. Let me get the button up. Well, it's going to take... there it is. Garuda's got something for us. I like Coke and rum. I think he means Coke and rum. Garuda, you're making a lot of typos today. Hard to understand. Coke and rum. Some people can deal with alcohol in their liver different depending on insulin spikes and what they use to make the booze.
Fact.
It's true. That's true.
Garuda knows a lot. Has a lot of facts. You're right. Confidently stated. I don't know about that one. A lot of iffy stats things could come out of Garuda sometimes. But anyway.
I drink rum and Coke quite a bit at one phase of my life.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a classic choice.
It's pretty tolerable as far as like cocktail drinks go. If you're a young kid, not experienced with drinking, that's something that is drinkable.
Vegan Stallion says alcohol is alcohol, and then Steven says Matt is gonna die on this hill. on the Garuda hill.
I think I'm gonna go with Vegan Stallion on this. In this particular controversy, I'm gonna say I think Vegan Stallion is more right. That alcohol is alcohol. I don't think it matters what is used to make the booze. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Well, anyone got anything else, or should we end this?
No, I think we gotta get out of here.
Okay, that was a strange show. I mean, whoever stayed with us, thank you for doing that. Kind of fun, but like Friday afternoon, what are you gonna do?
And if Anton Tony Kopitschka is listening today, then I apologize for the awkwardness. And you're welcome back to Black Mountain anytime. Let me know. I'll give you a key to the city.
There you go.
You gotta get keys to the city, John. You really start doing that. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.